Why not stream at 8K? So it looks fucking good as it does. I don't want my shit to blow up. I mean, I'd probably be okay with 8K, but we'd see how it goes. What's the prescription of my glasses? Blind as fuck, I believe is the technical term. Chateau. I always forget the numbers. It's like minus 3.75, I think. I don't know, 7.5? Something really bad. I'm blind as fuck, whatever that means. Something blind. All right, guys. It's time for yet another best of 3 here. It's year 0. It's the IEM Katowice open bracket. We got a lower bracket match from bracket number 4. And it's DNS. In the top left, the red Protoss. Up here in the top right, in the blue, it's Zanster. I do read books without my glasses, but I hold it quite close to my face. So people were just asking in chat, for those of you watching on YouTube, what my prescription of my glasses. I think it's like 3.75. Ooh, gas first from DNS. That means he's not probe scouting. He's assuming Zanster's not going to early pull. He's not going to scout until after his Nexus goes down. This is a greedy boy opening. Allows you to have a really, really smooth kind of flow through of your tech. Get out your, your warp gate, your adept, all sorts of stuff, really smoothly. I believe off this opening, you can quite smoothly go Stalker and Stargate and go into an Oracle as well. So back on the thing, I do go jogging as long as it's daylight without my glasses on. If I go jogging without my glasses on at night, I get scared I'm going to fucking run into someone or fall over because I can't see shit. But as long as it's like light out, I'm fine. So I would classify that as being blind as fuck. But I'm not like the person who literally can't figure out anything. Like I can work my way around. I'm just going to be terrible at identifying people from more than a few meters away, and I'm pretty terrible at nighttime with general anything. So yeah, I'm pretty blind. Yeah, I wear contacts sometimes at events. Warhammer. My friend gave me a whole bunch of free samples, which was nice of her, because she's an optometrist. So I went and got my eyes checked and scabbed some free samples off her. I should really buy a set of my own, just for like when I want to go and like work out really hard. And at some point, I do want to pick up a martial arts, probably BJJ, probably Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, just because I hear so many awesome people talk about how good it is, and it just, I miss the intensity of martial arts. Like if you ever like don't feel alive, you feel a little bit like low energy and stuff, go do a martial arts. I haven't done kickboxing since I was a young kid, but I even just went to like what seemed like a pretty casual self-defense focused traditional jiu-jitsu and karate school for like a single intro free lesson. And I went there and it was really fun. But most importantly, it was just like, I forgot how intense you can work out when you're doing punching and kicking and drills and all sorts of shit. And I just felt like so fucking pumped up and alive from the amount of cardio and the amount of muscles I was using that I don't normally use. And I was like, oh, I forgot how good this feels. I hadn't done kickboxing since I was a teenager. And I remember that was always it just feels good. It's like really great working out, So I should really go buy more contacts at some point. And I know a lot of people have had great success with like LASIK and stuff, so I might do that at some point. There's like the occasional horror story that you hear people like, don't do it, this happened to me. But like when I looked it up a few times, and there's like clinics and they're like, yeah, we have like a 99.97% complete success rate and stuff, like, and then obviously you can look into that and maybe they count it as a success even if there's some dry or itchy issues or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'll check it out at some point. Anyway, let's talk about this game. Very standard opening, but this Oracle comes in. Nice, crisp timing. Oh, God, Zanster. He was delayed on that Spore Crawler. He didn't build it right on 330. And, oh, that gas first Oracle coming out at such a smooth timing. 5 kills already. Nicely done. DNS coming in with another Oracle as well. Back at home, Lings are trying to bust through the wall. They do manage to kill the Stalker, but a nice secondary wall off. Adept falls back to that. The Lings are forced to disengage. So a good counter pressure there. Robo, Twilight, and double gases so early. Zanster knows from how fast these gases are that it's an Archon drop follow-up. I'm not sure if DNS forgot to put a third worker on that gas or not, but definitely didn't do it. Second Oracle floats through, gets just 2 kills and a bit of mining time. It's a good start here for DNS, but those Oracles are heavily wounded, and ooh, that one barely slides out. The Queens tried to intercept, they were a little bit too slow to move into position, and that's going to be that. So yeah, 4 gateways, a Zealot, and Adept. Oracle's going to come back in. Ooh, the stasis trap. Oh, Zanster, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, Zanster, no! Not too bad. He got a few of the drones out of there. 6 drones. It's not the end of the world. You can recover from that. The problem is a lot of players tilt when they let that happen, because you're not meant to ever let that happen as a pro player. You're meant to be watching your minimap and pull out of there, set it off with a single drone, and go back to work. Nice third base timing on the way here for DNS. DNS, this Oracle just kind of floating in the danger zone. Whoa, easy there, buddy. Revelation in the main, and no, sees no lair. Still no lair. Oh, wow. DNS, yeah, he's going to be freaking out a little bit about this. He's like, whoa, what the frack? It's getting past, like, well past 5 minutes. Do you still not have a lair, mate? And that also gives him a lot of comfort, because that means no Nidus Worm potential, no Spire potential, no Roach speed. Nothing to really counterattack him. Just a couple of Zerglings on the map, which aren't going to do too much. The Zealot will hold the door. He says, you're wearing the wrong shoes. They're like, nah, let us into the club, man. Let us into the club. And he decides to snap the neck of 2 of them. 2 Archons there. They're going to start the dropping. Probing continuing. We've got a shield battery at the natural, because DNS, seeing no lair, is worried about a hatch tech push. And it's starting to look more and more like a Queen Ravager Zergling attack. Like, why is there no lair yet? Has Zanster forgotten he's at 64 workers? This has got to be a mistake at this point. I did speak to Zanster right after he was eliminated from the tournament, which I think was a little bit after this. This is a lower bracket match. This is an elimination match. I don't know if he lost it from here or one of the following series, but I do remember Zanster being pretty upset with how he played. Wasn't the happiest with it. He's coming in here. DNS with pretty clean play so far, but oh my god, that lair finally starts up. So late. Well-timed 4th. Great economy here for Zanster, but I mean, just the lack of flexibility. He's got to sit back for like the entire game now. This gives DNS a free pass right up to Stormtech if he wants to take it, but he's not going to. He's going to go up to 8 gateways, and looks like he's warping in sentries, so he's just going to do a big sentry push by the look of things. Okay, that's cute. Stasis trap Archon pressure here. So he's just trying to kind of distract the roaches with the stasis traps. I didn't really like the way he did that. I feel if you've already created a bit of chaos and then you come in and turn on those stasis traps, it can work, but just kind of doing them a few seconds before the roaches even were engaging the Archons just felt a little bit awkward. Sentries, Zealots are going to come across the map. Immortals as well. Charge about to finish. No +1 attack. It's just a big 8-gate Zealot Immortal Archon attack. And DNS here going to try and come through. Turning on these Oracle Beams. He wants to get rid of the Creep Tumors, but that's actually meaningless. I really don't think that is going to help at all. The Oracles end up just using most of their energy and just kind of idling about. There's a ton of roaches out here for Zanster, but with no roach speed, it hurts his maneuverability. He's only got 4 Ravagers. Those Ravagers need to survive. Now, yeah, Zanster needs to engage, but he's a bit too clumped. He's a little bit too clumped up here, and those Immortals are going to dish out so much hurt from the back line. That being said, that's so many roaches. Oracles turn on their laser beams. The Archons and the Immortals do eat a bile there. He's out of force fields. DNS did not save any for the second round. And it looks like just mass roach because he has no tech to do anything else. Turns out to be pretty good versus this attack. I think he crushes it. You can't save all those units, DNS. He's going to try to evacuate some of them, but only 2 fit in the prism. There's a 5th base up for Zanster. Zanster playing a very weird style of Zerg here. He's now in control. He's got the game in the bag. I've really got to question the choice by DNS to commit to this attack. You've scouted an opponent going for a very late lair. He's got nothing he can do but drone up hard and mass basic units. Basic units are what you don't want to be fighting into. You want your opponent to be going Hydras, Mutas, Swarm Hosts, any of these fancy units that don't have enough of them together. They cost a lot of money. They're bad in small numbers. They don't have the upgrades with the example of Hydras to make them efficient. Roaches don't really need any of that. As long as they've got creep spread, we saw even without roach speed, just having the raw number of roaches was perfectly fine. So now DNS ends up in this really weird position where he's 55 probes versus 81 drones. Zanster up on 5 bases. I can't believe he doesn't have an Oracle down here. A Spore Crawler down here. He does finally drop one there. Needs one there as well. But he's just going to overwhelm with raw Roach Hydra numbers. I'd say, yeah, make a few Zerglings, make a few Ravages. Does he have Hydra range? No, he's going to go Grooved Muscular Augments first. Hydra move speed. And he will push across this map. So I guess he just pushes. Make a few Ravages to break force fields, I think would be nice. But you know what? Oh man, he has actually remade sentries as well. 5 of them. But he's only going to have a grand total of 10 force fields. In about 30 seconds, he'll have another 5 force fields. So 10 to 15 force fields will be used in the next engagement. And he's going to have to use them really well. I like this gateway because it thickens the choke point. And yeah, just it's a good way to defend. It's a good way to defend. The Kim Kardashian wall is the best wall. You got to have that thick booty. Otherwise, the Zerg can kind of run by in there. Nice force fields. Traps 6 roaches. Ooh, traps even more of them. Good start to the fight. Storm's not ready yet, though. And we see Zanster just collapsing on the other side. Good force fields. Holy shit. No Ravages to break them down. There's so many Zerg. Is it enough for DNS? It's been immaculate micro from the Protoss players so far in this engagement. That Immortal getting low, and Archon falls on the north side. These Immortals dishing out the hurt. That was an insane engagement for DNS there. But he's got to do it again. He's warping in Zealots on the counter side, and that's normally nice, but he's still in a bit of threat right now. Those Roaches and Hydras going to be forced back. Those ones retreating. 3 drones go down, but so many units popping out for Zanster, and he's still got a big 75 worker count. The Oracles here trying to still be annoying, but not really finding any purchase. All right, Storm's done. There's 5 High Templar gathering Storm energy. There's 6 Immortals with +1 attack, 2 Archons. Technically, DNS can get back in the game from this situation. The problem for DNS is, yeah, he's like thinking about a 4th base to keep up. A 2nd Lair's on the way now, which is weird. He's thinking about it. It's not going to do shit. He just needs to defend on 3 base. He needs to go full mana, as I call it. It's where you fight the Zerg on less than half their army supply for about 5 minutes straight. Micro every single unit until you think your brain's going to explode, and hope that the Zerg gets a little bit sloppy and doesn't transition to broods. As I say that, he meant to make a hive with this Spire, I think. It was a lair and a Spire. Unless he's thinking of doing a Muta swap. This game just looks sloppy from Zanster. The late lair, I don't know if that was on purpose. I don't know if this is a style he was developing. Muta transition off this can work, but he hasn't really prioritized his gas enough to do it just yet. He now starts up his hive. I think indeed that was a mistake. Bit of a split here for DNS. He's sending way too many units to the north. That was only a small group of Roaches and Hydras. This is a much bigger army. The Oracle not tagging the army here, meaning he did not have a lot of warning this was coming. The Archon falls. The High Templar getting killed from the low ground. Those 2 Hydras take out 2 High Templar. And that's huge. That's huge. High Templar goes down at the front. One that had Storm as well. And that's just a little bit too much Zerg. DNS unable to split perfectly. And despite the earlier engage going well, he is going to get worn down. Lose way too many valuable units in this engage. He's pulling down the rest of the units from the north. That is going to open up room for those units to cancel the 4th base. And he's already lost way too much valuable army. With that Hive and Spire on the way, that means Broodlords are coming up soon. As is a Nidus Worm. He's going to warp in Zealots to deal with that now. I don't know if you guys have seen Zealots try to kill a Nidus Worm, but the charge bonus damage and the +2 attack makes a big difference. This is not a 5-minute Nidus where it's just unupgraded Zealots. It's very different when they have charge and +2. I was about to make fun of how long they take to kill it, and then I'm like, you're an idiot, pig. It's 13 minutes into the game. Zealots can deal with that. Storm down there on the south side. Immortals coming in with these Stalkers to defend those Hydras. DNS doing a good job. But you need to take some steroids and pick up this game and snap it in half as DNS. Because you're playing a Zerg that has 5 times your shit. Zanster's really not doing this in the most efficient way. I mean, I would love to see him Nidus Worming all over the place. the way you do it is you set up an overseer there, and then you can Nidus there, Nidus there, Nidus there, Nidus there, and you do it in the main as well. You can, like, you know, Nidus here, and it just keeps forcing your opponent's APM away. And while that's happening, you can split into the natural. Whilst, you know, you can engage here, move up into the natural with a section of your army. I do feel like Zanster's been a little bit disorganized with how he's been taking the fights, but he's got the Greatest Buyer. He's going to go for the Broodlords now. Looks like he should be able to close it out if he can do that well enough. Warp Prism on the south side. A few spotting Changelings for Zanster, looking for a potential 4th base. And look at that sad little Protoss force. Not particularly impressive, is it? Mickit, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome to the Pigsty, dude. Itchy contacts. Do my contacts get itchy? Yours always get itchy, someone was saying. That's weird. No. My eyes get a little dry. And it does start to feel a little bit irritating. I wouldn't call it itchy. Annoying, yes. Eye drops. Eye drops help with that. Sometimes I just splash water on my face as well. I just pour water into my eyes. Because like it's the same thing. Like if it's normally after about 6 hours of them being in. And it's very common once they've been in for a long time for your eyes to dry out, and some eye drops or whatnot to help. Like if I've had them in all day and then I have a shower, then they usually feel fine. But eye drops is the easier way of doing that. Immortal Storm. This is cute. Yeah, Zanster's like, I could do anything I want. Tempests are even trying to come out. DNS here, hanging on impressively. But StarCraft is a game of slippery slopes, and playing well is not that great when you're down this far. I'm going to put it on DNS's camera, see what he can do. He's trying to do some counters. He doesn't know about the broods, so he probably dies the moment they show themselves. But we'll see what he can make happen. Yeah, he's seen the broods. He's like, run! Run! Single Zealot, please do some damage. So Broodlords are very slow and immobile, so normally you'll like try to do a big counterattack to like pull your opponent's attention away. He's got 2 Tempests. 3rd and 4th are on the way. Does he have an Oracle? Where's that Oracle? The Oracle! Man, if this Oracle was tagging the army the whole time, this would have helped him so much. And now he needs it to tag the Broodlords so the Tempest can shoot. He needs to give up the 4th base. Ooh, yeah, the Tempests, ever since they changed the acceleration, they do not stutter step as well as they did. When they first released the new Tempest, their ability to scoot and shoot was beautiful. I loved it. Now, every time I try to stutter step them, I look as awkward as DNS does right now. Look at how awkward his Tempest micro looks. Okay, it's partly because he doesn't have continual vision, because no tag on the Tempests, on the Broodlords. But you can just see there was multiple times he'd turn around to shoot, and then he'd move back before the shot got off. So, as someone who was really enjoying the OP super mobile Tempests, I am a little bit sad I don't get to use them anymore. But GG is a nice game there from Zanster. I don't know what the shit he was thinking with that opening. It worked out beautifully. But that was not a great game from either side. I mean, DNS opened up fantastically. Scouted no lair for such a long time. And maybe he says, I know Zanster does this weird mass economy play, so this timing can work. And yeah, maybe it could have if he was taking a 4th earlier, but somewhere around this 6 minute 30 mark, I'm kind of looking at it and saying to myself, you've seen just a ton of roaches and queens. You've seen no lair. It just doesn't feel like a good scenario for this attack. I feel like DNS was kind of just a little bit too inflexible, committed to this attack, and I'd love to just see a Forge, Storm, Probing, take the gases. If he did that, we saw that there's minutes until roaches and hydras can get across the map. I really would have loved to see a 4th base and just some nice defensive play from DNS. This is also something Roddy pointed out in the grand finals. He was really annoyed that in the final game Stats chose to go for an Immortal Sentry push, because it's not a bad way to do it unless your opponent decides. Sorry, one sec. Checking something. Okay, there is a second game which I can't find. Let me see if I can get it open. Yeah, so it's not good on such a big map. It's just better to play macro on Year Zero. Year Zero is such a big map. It's a godsend to Protoss. In the current map pool, it's so good for Protoss versus Zerg, in my opinion, Roddy's opinion, a few other Protoss players. And I just don't think you should be doing one of these attacks where you just walk across the map and rely on force fields. It's too easy for the Zerg to spot ahead of time and react to. Let me see if I can find game 2 of this series, guys. Sorry, these replays are an absolute shit show. An absolute shit show. So, come on, babe. Please. I think I got it. Awesome. Alright. Game 2. Here we go. That's the scoreboard. There we go. Alright, guys. Up here in the top left-hand side, in the blue, it's DNS. Now having to play on a much smaller map, where that attack from last game I think makes a lot more sense here. Down here in the red, in the bottom right, it's Zanster. Now let's see if he's adamant on this hatch tech play, or if it was just a one-off. Let's see. What's up, Shodan? Do I want to rematch TLC? He was here before. I bet you could beat him. I don't know who TLC is, sorry. Who's TLC? Restart the match where it ended. Attack as a third with all your lings, and he won't be able to defend. Then pull them back. You had the same amount of drones, and he had no money. And he had almost 600 minerals and 500 gas. He had +2, you had +1. You had around a total of roaches, I'm not sure. I had no roaches. I had about 30 lings. He had 2 roaches and no money. Oh, TLO is what you were trying to write there. No, he had about 10 roaches with +2, Shodan. Did he drop by the stream? I didn't get raided by him, did I? There's been a few alerts that haven't showed up today. But I don't know. Yeah, that's not... He did drop by? Oh shit, I didn't notice. What's up, Dario, if you are still here? I love Dario. He's one of my favorite streamers. And just a generally nice, cool human. But yeah, we played a game earlier on the ladder. He had like 7 or 8 roaches and more in production. He had +2 attack on the way. I had +1 carapace, which is not a useful upgrade later on. It's nowhere near as useful as the range attack upgrades. And I immediately analyzed that game and said I could attack and harass. I would not be able to kill his third base at all. 100%. I would be able to delay his mining and try to transition because I hadn't even started a lair. It would have been very nasty. So if I were to replay that game, I would go back to when I'm moving out with my push, and I would make the lair then so that I could have the mutas as a fallback plan. I analyzed that whole thing right when I played the game, right afterwards. I don't know if you were here, maybe you're watching from TLO's stream, Shodan. But yeah, I was most certainly in a terrible position. It could have not been as terrible if I had a better, more organized game plan. Anyway, let's focus on the build, guys. It's Twilight Council first. Overlord not going to go for the scout. Zanster has no idea what he's up against. And DNS just going to be running circles with this probe, being a bit of a dick. And the third hatch goes down. Nice standard opening for both sides. All 3 pulled off gas by Zanster once he started zergling speed. And he's trying to get a ling across to scout. DNS says no. Nice. Very nicely done. Just denies Zanster's map vision. Behind this, a robo does start up. Looks like just a classic Archon drop build. All right, cool. It's my favorite opening. I do this every game. Now, I'm not actually sure how he's going to wall this off. I think you can squeeze it there, and it should be in pylon range. Never mind. I was thinking the pylon was further over than it was. Yeah, DT Shrine goes down. So keep an eye on DNS's build order. I was very critical of people's Archon drops in this tournament. Even players like Neeb and really high-level Protoss players, I felt like everyone was a little bit slow on their first DT warp in, except for Stats. I feel like Stats is the best executor of an Archon drop in this meta. Now, Zanster has no idea it's not a Stargate, so he's building a Spore, and he's relying on 2 Queens at his natural to defend there from Oracles. He's expecting Oracle, and he's even building a 4th Queen already, which is not really what you want against this. Now, an extra gateway goes up at the front to complete the wall off. We've got the extra gateways there as well. The Prism being built. This looks like a really crisp build from DNS. This looks like a very crisp build. Yeah. I think DNS is going to hit a really fast 4 minute 40 warp in, maybe 4:35. Stats regularly warps in at 4 minutes 34, 4 minutes 35. It's disgusting, and he'll do that often with 2 Adepts and a Stalker. I don't even know how he does cut probes slightly more. DNS only building 2 gateway units, not quite as safe against things like a Ling Flood, but you can see he's got a really solid wall. He can squeeze a gateway in there if Lings flood, and that can block off, and that can be really nice. Now this Adept securing the 3rd so we can send a probe over to take that a bit later. And look at this. I was telling you guys, 4 minute 35. Now, the 4th DT didn't warp until 4:37. Beautiful timing here from DNS. Spore Crawler finishes just in time, though, by Zanster. Zanster started that right on 4 minutes 20. But where are the units? Oh my god, his roaches are a little bit late. His roaches are a little bit late. Those DTs are just going to focus on that warp prism. He's already lost 1 DT. DNS going to commit now. Click on the hatch. Click on the hatch. Indeed, once again, it's no lair. Zanster seems to just be doing this as his PVZ style is to delay the lair and just to be really safe with mass roach, mass drone every game. Fair enough. More DTs warping in. Good move over by that Spore from the natural for Zanster. Loses a bunch of queens, so this is really good for DNS so far. DNS just has to be careful to not lose the Prism and the Archons. It doesn't matter how good the start goes. It's terrible if you lose that. Charge, Immortals, and a Forge on the way. Charge being down so early, it makes me think there's still a decent chance of an attack, but because there's a Forge, it has to be with at least +1. Now, he did put that Forge under the Overlord. That's almost like placing hey, I'm playing a long game in your opponent's vision. It could be a trick, and DNS may go for the same attack as the previous game and not even use that Forge, or simply cancel the upgrade and warp in an extra Zealot or two. But we see probes in the production tab, already up at 51. So... yeah, as long as he keeps probing, it looks like it'll be the macro transition. No Templar Archives for DNS just yet, which makes sense. But I think seeing Hatch Tech for so long, or seeing this style, I feel like... I keep saying that Zanster can't be aggressive. I mean, his lair's done now. He still could do a big, Nidus on 3 base. He could still... looks like go for Swarm Host, but I was going to say he could still do something like a big Roach Ravager Zergling, just off a bigger economy than you normally see. Hitting a little bit later, but having an even bigger flood of units, especially on a small map like this. As it is, looks like it's going to be Roach Queen, Swarm Host. We've got only 3 queens, though. You need to go up to 5 queens at least, if not 6 or 7, because you need to push creep through the middle of the map. So I've got to be critical. I feel like Zanster, if he doesn't get some more queens and just goes for Swarm Hosts, I don't think that's really how you should be playing this. Those queens, without them, you kind of have to go Nidus Worm. And... because, like, where's the creep? Where's the creep? It's just not there. I don't feel like Zanster is setting himself up for each stage of the game as well as I would like. Okay, there we go. Okay, Nidus Worm does... I'm like, it's got to be a Nidus Worm, right? So he's got good Ling Spotters. You can start Nidusing here, Nidus up here, start sieging all the locations. DNS, though, it's the same attack as the previous game. It's just a lot more workers behind it. 68 workers, a +1 attack, but making more Archons and looking to take the fight here to Zanster. Zanster was just droning even then. He didn't even know this was coming. He walks his Roaches and his Swarmos into their death. Oh god, that's really bad for Zanster. Okay, Locusts do land on those sentries, but hot pickups with the Warp Prism saves all of them. Those Locusts have been worn down. More Zealots coming in. This is a good push. I think DNS just wanted to force a response, but he catches Zanster with his pants down. Zanster... out in the woods, pants around his ankles. He's in the middle of having a bit of a squatty time, and DNS is like, "Hey, buddy," runs up and hits him in the head with a big stick, and Zanster falls over in his own poop. It's not how you want it to go. Yeah, look at his vision. I was pointing out there's no creep in the middle, and then like he moves a Ling through, and he's like, what's going on? I don't know. Where's his army at? Where's his army at? Maybe I should go check with my Roaches. Maybe we'll walk up here with me Roaches, make sure it's clear for my Swarm Hosts, and yeah, and we're on his camera, and fuck. Yeah, that's really bad. That's very bad there for Zanster. DNS does tie up the series 1-1. So, just a nice decisive, I would call that a pressure. I wouldn't even call that a committed attack. I'm pretty sure he was going to be adding Storm behind that in a 4th base. He just wanted to keep the fighting on Zanster's side of the map, push back the creep to make sure that Swarm Hosts wouldn't just run across and kill him, because on that map it works really well. Up here in the left-hand side, guys, in the red, it is Zanster. Over here in the right, in the blue, it's DNS. right. This time a gateway into a gas. DNS not going to play it risky with that gas first like in game 1. Only side of... Mickit, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub, by the way, mate. Not sure if I said thanks for that. Thank you. Really appreciate those of you going above and beyond to support. Thank you. Am I out of practice with punching watermelons to the moon? Yeah, it's mostly been cactus punching lately, Plox. Ooh, I got some really fancy tequila, actually. I think I'm going to have some tonight. I've got some fancy cheese as well. I'm really looking forward to the weekend. It's Friday for me. Going to take the weekend off, as I usually do, so that I can be a happy, generally positive human. Usually. I do become a negative Nancy when I lose a few games, but usually I get rid of that reasonably quickly, so we'll see how we go. Can you remember which game Stats played DT Archon drop? He did it at least once in the grand finals, right? Did he? I cannot remember, Omnidrone. Just go through yeah. If you just, I mean, it's the exact same build that I copied from him at the beginning of 2018, and I did a build guide on Spawning Tool. Very simple one, or just a replay I uploaded of myself doing it. But yeah, yeah, the super fast DT Archon drop is it, and it's literally the exact same execution I do. Well, not the exact same because he's better than me, but pretty much the same execution of the DT Archon drop that you see me do on my stream every day. Because I copy it from Stats. Yeah. I copied it. I copy it from Stats. Me speak good English. Thank you, Bonemore. Thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Much love, thanks. Welcome to the Pigsty. Hope you enjoy being a piggy. He let a bit of damage go on that, but I think he should be able to get a bit of regen before the next hit, and the Adept should be able to save that. So I kind of like the letting the probe get that low, because it's bait, you know? It kind of lures them. And look, he's hunting for the lings. He's trying to cover both paths. So if he saw a ling with this shade, he'd probably like chase the ling, kill it, and then go for the scout. I like it. Stargate is here for DNS. This is not only nice and close to the opponent's base, it's also hard for their overlord to scout. Last place they'd possibly look most of the time. Adept Scout is checking for... Ooh, he's going to commit to it. Okay, cool. Nice. This is a good map for this, actually. I find this very annoying players. Where the hell are the lings? Oh god, they were having a smoke break down there. Two of them were Dutch ruddering each other in the mineral line. They're like, having a bit of a dirty time. And that shade was a little bit off though. Not the biggest fan. Oh, actually it's okay. He'll get out. So anyway, you want to check that there's no fast lair. Check that they weren't mining gas the whole time, because if they are, they can go for a fast night swim. Woo, 2 hit point Adept. I think he thinks it's dead. So he's not even micro. And he's like, wait, what? You're still alive? Shit, run! No! Oh, could have escaped. Oh well, Oracle dives. Spore Crawler perfectly positioned. Oh, that hurts. If that Oracle was so close to getting that second shot off, and then it would have still had about 70 hit points left. Would have been much nicer. Zerglings setting up the ring of Zerglings we see pros so good at these days to try and spot any follow-up units. There is a second Oracle on the way, a Robo Twilight, and the very fast gases. And remember, the Overlord scouting the gases. It's something I picked up from Lambo's stream and talking about spotting those gases. How, yeah, you see them up, you know it's going to be an Archon drop afterwards. And oh my god! 31 drone Baneling bust from Zanster, you filthy boy! He's going to go all in, and that Adept died. There's nothing in the wall right now. Where are the Adepts? He sent the 2 Adepts across the map. Okay, the Oracle sees some lings. Oh no, DNS is so set on doing this pressure, he's not paying attention. That's a lot of Banelings morphing. DNS has fracking nothing at home, man. He's making a Prism and charge. DNS! Your Oracles need to go home yesterday, dude. Oh my god, oh my god. He sees a bunch of lings, but he's like... No, okay, he's got to realize. He's got to realize. He's got to realize. Stop focusing on the pressure. Focus on what this means. It's too late. He warps in another Adept there. Actually, is that enough? A Zealot. Notice how he pulls the Zealot back to make sure the splash doesn't hit the Zealot when it hits the Stalker. And Zanster's attack has not managed to break through yet. Gateway, gateway, go, go, go. You need to wall that off right now. Pylon on the top, pylon on the top. Another pylon. I think that's a full wall, though. It should be good enough. The Oracles have enough energy. He's got to click on those Banelings, though. He's got to click on those Banelings, because they will do big damage to the wall. Yeah, more buildings, more buildings, more buildings. Ooh, these Oracles take those Zerglings to Dicktown. 22 kills between them. That's a lot. More lings coming. Okay, Archons. Yeah. Every Archon that morphs will be massive here. He can't deactivate the beams because he won't have the energy to turn them back on. So he's going to stop those Banelings. And then he will still have a little bit more energy. The Oracles, they're just idling. Okay, there's an Archon up. There's an Immortal almost out. Yes, he lost some gateways in the front, but he's got 2 in the back. He can keep making Archons. Zanster only now starts up drone production. He kept committing to this way too long, and he did not have enough Banelings to make this work. I feel like Zanster did this instinctively after he saw something. And whilst he sold the story quite well, that gateway getting up, the Zealot warping getting up, it is going to be a hold from DNS. And that faster warp gate has really made it much easier to defend these sort of attacks as a Protoss. But especially this is a later attack where warp gate is always done at this time. Because this is like the real, like, hey, look, I'm doing a normal build. Bam! That's what Zanster was going for. And Zanster, not in a good spot right now. Archon Prism, going to take him out. Now, Zanster might go for another wave. There's those Zerglings that have still not been spotted. But, that Archon, yeah, I mean, you've just got to sit here as DNS. Alright. Those gateways survive, and that's actually really good. You don't want to lose those gates. It's valuable production right now. You've only got 5, soon to be 9 gateways as DNS. Okay, yeah, you've got plenty of production. Zanster's pretty dead, guys. He's on hatch tech. He's going for a Roach Warren. He's going to try and play Ravager Bane. Without Bane speed, not a very good composition. Zanster, I think, needs to make a layer really quickly. I like the melee upgrade. I'd love to see a hidden 4th base, in fact, off in one of the corners of the map. But most importantly, lots of roaches, turn those all into Ravagers, have an insane amount of Zerglings, and be ready to backstab. These are the secrets to success for Zanster. He's up 15 workers. He can get back in this game for sure, but he doesn't have a lot of tools to deal with this harassment right now. He's only got 3 queens. That means there's next to no anti-air. These Archons wasting mining time. Going to kill a few Overlords. A few Zealots going to warp in. He's got charge, remember. Going to start to focus down a few of these workers. Doing very nicely is DNS. He's going to look for the queen kill, I believe. Zealots take out a few roaches. Not a terrible trade. The Lings, though, looking for the counter, but there's 3 Oracles. 3 Oracles don't give a shit about how many Lings you got, man. Ooh, yeah, Zanster's got to pull out of there. There's too much Oracle energy. That 3rd's up no matter what. Zealots, Archons, Immortals all in the front. Ravagers are trying to morph. He's going to go up to about 4 Ravagers. 3? Needs more Roaches, needs more Zerglings. Zerglings terrible against Charizards and Archons. The Zerglings desperately trying to buy time, but those Oracles say, nope, 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 nope. The Nexus survives with about 100 hit points to go. And the Roaches and the Ravagers have a fight on their hands. If the Banelings were here, it would be massive. They'd be able to stop these Zealots, but they're not ready. The Cocoon's just not quite there. And that's going to be it. Zanster's Bane Bust defended. Great play here by DNS. Overwhelms, pushes through. Lots of Immortal Archon Charizard pushes in the mid-game. A very powerful way to play. And seals the deal 2-1. That series actually got quite good there. I like that it went a bit back and forth. Even though there were some questionable decisions early on in the series, it worked really nice. There was some cool shit going on there. So, nice. GG, well played.